You know, despite Mr. Pumpkinhead's policies and discriminatory legislations around the world, and the fact that we're nowhere near where we should be in terms of social acceptance, I tend to carefully think that in some parts of the world we're becoming more transgender and gender bender tolerant. Public figures such as Conchita Wurst or Caitlyn Jenner are speaking up for more tolerance, and they bring the topic to the public debate, making it generally more accepted for people to not fit into the binary gender system. But us progressive liberals don't have to get all smug about how tolerant our urban enclaves are. This is in no way a new phenomenon. This has been around for a long time, and there have been places in time where gender transformation and gender ambiguity were present in society up to the highest ranks. Today I want to talk about one such example. Female gender transformation in ancient Egypt. It was a thing. You see, for ancient Egyptians, the tomb wasn't just a place where your remains would rest for eternity. It was the cradle for actual rebirth into afterlife. You couldn't just zip through a gate and be in afterlife. You had to be reborn into it. And in their belief, it was the people themselves who had to rebirth themselves into afterlife. So if I was dead, I went to an Egyptian tomb, I would have to give birth to my own reborn self into afterlife. Ancient Egyptians also believed that it was man who created the fetus and then transferred the fetus into the womb of the women, who were basically just incubators and birth givers. Now, because of this belief, women were facing a biological barrier to rebirth into afterlife. But the builders of the Great Pyramids of Giza had a solution for this problem. And they called it female gender transformation in ancient Egypt. No, they didn't. But what they did do is that they, with spells, magically transformed the dead women in their tombs into man for long enough so that they could create a fetus of themselves. They would then turn back into women to conceive of that fetus for incubation and rebirth. Mind blown. So these women were basically flip-flopping between genders more often than Donald Trump is flip-flopping on his condemnation of what happened in Charlottesville. Interestingly enough, the fact that men are anatomically unequipped to give birth to a fetus didn't seem to pose a problem. But hold your horses, this was not because they thought that men were not worthy of the gender-bending experience. There are actually many illustrations of male kings showing female attributes. One example is this illustration of a pregnant male king. The point I'm trying to make here is very simple. Gender ambiguity and gender bending is not at all a new thing. So if this video got you interested in ancient Egypt, then I have good news for you, because I have a friend who specializes in videos on ancient Egypt, and she could probably tell you a lot more about this topic. I'm just a guy who went to a museum, got fascinated, and made a video. I hope she will approve of the messages that I shared in here. Check her out and check out this channel also regularly. Liking and sharing is flattering and caring. Thank you very much, and see you next time.